Now, some certain allegations have been making headlines in the country. And this is after a few individuals within the Kenya Kwanza government went ahead to allege that Raila Amolo Odinga came into power to help President William Ruto protect his presidency after a military coup was plotted against him, and the military wanted to overturn the government of President William Ruto. Allow me to say without fear of contradiction, if there is anything that this country has ever been praying for, is something like that to happen. And people with normal brains and people with love for this nation to take over the nation and lead it towards the right direction. And after this allegation, Dr. Miguna Miguna, after Raila Amolo Odinga alleged, Raila Amolo Odinga went even ahead to allege that a coup was being plotted, and the government of William Ruto was at the stake of being drawn out. So Raila Amolo Odinga was called to intervene. Daktari Miguna Miguna, a vocal attorney, has attacked Raila Odinga harshly, saying he is too greedy and dishonest to gain Kenyans' trust. Miguna denied Raila's recent assertions that he was instrumental in averting a military takeover of President William Ruto on his X account. The abrasive attorney denied the statements, suggesting that the former prime minister was trying to change history for political purposes. Following the spectacular storming of Parliament on 25th of June, Raila had previously asserted that Kenya was about to undergo a military coup. He said that his action averted an unheard of catastrophe. His remarks, however, have generated controversy, with many contesting the veracity of assertions. Raila's claim that Kenya hasn't held a fair election since 2002 sparked yet another contentious argument the day before Miguna's attack. He continued his long-standing criticism of the nation's electoral system by insisting that every election since then had been manipulated and that he, Raila Amolo Odinga, was the rightful winner. Remarkably, Raila has consented to collaborate with President William Ruto, citing the interest of Kenyans. Despite their previous disagreement, many, however, are perplexed by the abrupt change. Some believe it to be a calculated political ploy, while others doubt his sincerity. Kenyans must determine whether Raila's assertions are true or whether Miguna was correct to label him dishonest as political tensions grow in the country. Now, when you look at this story about Raila Amolo Odinga claiming that the country was to undergo a military coup, and that is why he himself had to come in and intervene in this case, it tells you a lot of things. And there is a question that Miguna Miguna has asked through his tweet, and allow me to read it, because this question opens up doors that the government thought it had closed several months ago. He says this: is conman Raila Odinga confessing that he helped tyrant William Ruto assassinate General Ogola under the pretext of stopping an imaginary coup? Or are the current rumblings targeting General Charles Kahariri, the CDF from Mrima? That is the question. But one thing we all know, Raila and William Ruto together can't be trusted. He continues by saying, SK Macharia is the most celebrated conman after Raila Amolo Odinga. In 2007, he openly supported Mwai Kibaki, civilian coup. In 2013, he supported Despot Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto. In 2017, he didn't say anything as Despot Uhuru Kenyatta and Ruto openly stole the presidential election. Now, SK Macharia was quite like a lamb in 2022 and didn't even swear an affidavit in support of Raila. Now, the deputy conman yells about conman Raila Amolo Odinga's election victories since 2007. Why is SK Macharia and Raila Odinga supporting and facilitating William Ruto if the latter stole the 2022 victory? Don't give us stupid excuses and transparent lies about peace and national unity. We are not grade 2 retards like Sudi. That is what Miguna says. Now allow me to look at this with an open mind and with an open criticism mind. When it comes to the matter of the nation, and to comes to something that happened last year, the death and the chopper crash of one General Francis Ogola, is a matter that we have never gotten over as Kenyans. Now tell me, why shouldn't we come into conclusion of supporting Miguna's statement that Ogola was assassinated because he dreamt too big, because he wanted what's best for this republic? And that is when Raila Amolo Odinga was brought in to negotiate and support William Ruto government, to help him with advices on how to subvert a coup that was to happen under CDF, Chief of Defense Forces Francis Ogola, as the CDF of the Republic of Kenya. Why shouldn't we support these statements? Why shouldn't we think in that manner? If somebody tells us that even the invasion of parliament by the Gen Z on 25th of June 2024 wasn't genuine. I had a certain politician, an evil fool, an evil orangutan, with a face submerged like that of a tadpole and a turtle together, a supporter and an MP of President William Ruto, saying that the reason why the Gen Z were able to invade parliament on 25th of June is because the military and the police connived and decided that once this happens, then in a few, the Gen Z would invade State House and the military would take over. Are we together? And they said, reason why they were supporting these claims and this narrative, these rhetorics, is because they believed that polisi walikuwa na marisasi, hawakupiga watu risasi ziishe. Polisi, the military had bullets, they had tear gas, they didn't use them. The question is, you MFS, you are trying to tell us that the military is satisfied with William Ruto's government? Yani ni kama wao wanakula vizuri sana, ni kama polisi wanakula vizuri sana ha? Ni kama polisi wanakula unono kwa hii serikali. It's clearly that you people don't know even where you stand. Amjielewi kabisa ha? And once such things happen, you try to create narratives so that they will befit your delusional brains. Watu hawawataki, si eti ni kwamba it is military inataka kugeuza serikali. The military of Kenya is one of the most disciplined forces that we have in Africa. So don't try to point fingers at our military. Bwana Raila Odinga, you are a tumbocrat, na tumbo yako ndio ilikupeleka kwa serikali. Mambo ya kuweka military hapo ndio uweze kusupport narrative zako za kipumbavu, it's something that Kenyans cannot buy at this moment. What is your comment? And do you think that Francis Ogola's chopper crash was not an accident and it was an orchestrated assassination because they believed that Francis Ogola had the mind and brains to change the ruling of this country and have this country ruled by the military? Leave a comment in the comment section.